What's happening, guys? Welcome to another video. Today I'm talking about the 85mm G Master. This is one of my most favorite lenses. I've actually bought it twice, which sounds a little bit funny, but we're going to get into it, show you guys why this lens is so magic. Let's just jump straight into the review. I bought this lens the day it was available here in New Zealand, and I paid, I think, about 4,000 New Zealand dollars. It was quite expensive when it first came out. It's a lot cheaper nowadays, but I owned it for quite a while. I'd done a whole bunch of weddings with it. And then one day I just went into Auckland Camera Centre randomly and saw the Sigma 135mm for Sony was out. So without even really thinking about it, I traded it in. It was actually the morning before a wedding. So I traded it in, just not thinking about it, and bought the 135, being quite excited about it. Now, the lens was great, the 135 was cool, but the 135 focal length just really isn't for me. Although it's a really great lens, it just really wasn't something that I was into. I really should have thought about it first, but you know, I'm a little bit erratic like that, and I just tend to buy things that I don't need. So needless to say, I sold the 135 and again bought another brand new 85mm G Master. So I lost a little bit of money, but it's not the end of the world. I'm really happy I'm back on my G Master 85, and today we're going to go through all the image quality and focusing, all that sort of stuff. So first off the bat, let's talk about build quality. The lens is built amazingly. It's definitely, you know, I think it's probably one of the better made G Master lenses. They're all really nice, but you know, this one is particularly made really nice. The focus ring is really nice and smooth. I really love the aperture rings that you got on the G Master lenses. Having this paired up with the 24mm that I'm filming on now, both having the aperture ring is really awesome. I really love it. You've also got the function button here, which you can program to iFocus. I sometimes have it programmed to either iFocus or focus hold when I'm doing video. So when I'm taking a bit of video, I can just hold that button and lock it in manual focus, and you know, maybe do some panning or whatever I want to do, and it doesn't change the focus, so it's really handy in that regards. Other than that, you've also got the AF/MF switch there like any other G Master lens, and it also has the clicks function. So if I put it by my mic, you can hear the aperture click, or you can turn it off and it's nice and silent. To be honest, that's not really a feature I use, but if you're doing videography all the time, I think that would come in really handy. On the back, it's got a weather sealing gasket, so this lens is fully weather sealed. Better clean it off, it's a bit dirty. And it has a 77mm filter thread, so really common filter size, nice and handy to have that. Weight and size wise, it's really good. It's you know, it's a chunky lens. It's not super light, but it's much lighter than the 85 Sigma or the 135 Sigma, and definitely a 70-200. Now in terms of image quality, as always, I'm just going to throw a few photos up now so you can see them. Obviously I'm a wedding photographer. I do a few portraits and stuff, but my main use for this lens is for wedding photography. Now, I find this lens is just magic. So I'm not sure if you can see, but it has the 9 aperture blade design. So the background in this lens is really nice and creamy. It's a really nice feature of the G Master lenses. They all have it. And yeah, just really nice smooth background. It's not distracting at all. It renders skin tones really nicely. So it's a really sharp lens, but it still manages to keep a softness kind of feeling to the skin, which is really nice. Sharpness at 1.4 is just stunning. It's really amazing. I have no problem shooting it at 1.4 all day. Chromatic aberration is really minimal, and when you stop this lens down, it just gets sharper and sharper. I find about f5.6, it's just stupidly sharp, great for landscape photography and stuff like that. Maybe if you're getting some mountains or something like that in the background. Great lens for that. In terms of focusing, this lens is fast, reliable, accurate. I'm often using this lens through a ceremony, so I have no issues at all when I'm tracking a bride or the bridal party walking down the aisle towards me. I can just use iFocus and it just tracks them flawlessly. It's always really reliable. I've never had an issue where I'm sort of wondering why it's not focusing properly, or it's focusing on something I didn't want to focus on. Obviously that comes down to a little bit about learning the camera that you're on, but it's a really reliable lens in terms of autofocus. Video focus for this lens is also amazing. There's really not a whole lot to talk about. It just works. It's fast. It's not super fast like I just said, but it's definitely fast enough to be any kind of like tracking or anything. It's just one of my most favorite lenses, and paired up with the 24mm, I find it's the perfect wedding combo for me, and I'm really happy with it. A big thing about this lens is the colors are always punchy, always contrasty. Even in really flat situations or backlit situations, it doesn't hardly ever lose any contrast. It's really nice and punchy all the time. Skin tones come out really nice. Now I know it's an expensive lens, and a lot of people ask me, why don't you buy the Batiste or the 85 1.8? And I personally feel like this lens is worth the extra money. That might not be for everybody. Some people are going to disagree with me, but where this lens really shines is in difficult lighting situations, really smooth, non-distracting backgrounds, really punchy colors. And you know, my second shooter, Ethan, he's got the 85 1.8, and we've both talked about it. We've both said it, hands down, the 85 G Master takes over in terms of colors and stuff. I always find I have to edit the 85 1.8 lens differently and add contrast and color and stuff like that, depending on the situation. If it's in a really easy situation, like a cloudy day, or you know, there's lots of colors around, I find the 85 1.8 is fine. You're going to be happy with either lens. But the 85mm G Master, if you can afford it, if it's in your budget, I really highly recommend going for it. That's it from me, guys. Thanks for watching again. Subscribe to my channel, click the bell icon, comment below if you want to know anything else. Again, thanks to all my subscribers. I'll see you in the next video.